And there we go. It is time. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. And thank you for the welcomes from Sue and Kevin and Sasha and Sophie. Yay, hey, Doc. Thanks, Sophie, and also howdy to Frank there. And speaking of Frank, there he is. We better give him his cookies since he was number one today. So, Frank, here they come. Where's those cookies in the cookie jar? And there we go. We got your cookies out to you right away. Anyway, welcome everyone. Glad to have you on board. Happy Friday or Saturday for those who are already over the international dateline. And also, milk. Hey, that works. Those go good. That goes good with the cookies. Anyway, glad to have everyone on board here tonight. And an interesting day of events. Well, I don't know. Interesting stuff going on. Anyway, nothing too serious, but kind of weirdish stuff. Anyway, we'll get to things pretty quick. First off, hello to the moderators. Arizona Snowman, haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure he's in the background somewhere. Also, welcome to Piggy, who hasn't showed up yet either. And C&D Boy, who was here and ran away. And then we have Joseph Fields, Texas, hiding somewhere in the background. And Arliss is munching cookies. Okay, there we go. And let's see, who else we got there? Sometimes we have Gary 24/7 Live, AZ Skies in the background as well. So, as well as Lucas Snow, and there may be a few others that we have going on occasion, and they pop in there. Anyway, as you see on screen, canned lava from August 6th again, since I didn't change it, didn't really have time, didn't really have new stuff anywhere. And I've had a couple of comments there. One comment was, yeah, it's the same old thing again. Yeah, you're right, same old thing. Unfortunately, until a new a volcano erupts with lots of lava flow, it is going to be exactly that, unfortunately. And I don't make the volcanoes. And of course, on screen, you can see I did add a new little feature there at the bottom of the screen. And that is kind of a news update thingy. And that is compliments of volcanodiscovery.com. And of course, they have the list of what's going on currently and how many volcanoes are erupting and active and dormant and all that nice stuff. So I thought that was a nice little feature to throw in there for you guys, just so you can see. So yeah, we do have 26 volcanoes around the world that are active or erupting, 20 with warnings, 34 with unrest, and 1,375 that are dormant. And that's counting most of them. That's not all of them. There are other ones that have not been accounted for. Some of them are the underwater volcanoes. And of course, this does include some of them, but not anywhere near all of them. So that's just something I thought I'd throw out there. Anyway, time to say hello to everyone. So we're going to start out by saying hi to Sophie and Tom Dice, Kevin McLeod, of course, who got the cookies, Sue Hayes and Kevin Haynes, and Chris Chaplin, Arliss Scott also here, King Colin Deadman. He didn't even notice his shoelaces are tied together. Wait till he stands up. Grandma B is here as well. Oz is back in. Welcome, Oz. And going up the list some more, looking to see, did I say Sasha already? I hope so. Jennifer also here. Jennifer, that little comment about the 5 emojis. I know you did a 6 or 7 there a couple times, but we're not going to scold you for it, just letting you know it's easy enough to do most things with 5, and that's all that we, really prefer here. That way we can get our message across and not swamp the chat out with too many of the emojis. Although we don't mind, a little bit. Once in a while, somebody does 6. Nobody's going to say anything, okay? But let's try to limit them. And anyway, Sandra Rockland also here. Sasha is here. Arliss we got. And we're scrolling up looking for more wonderful names. And let's see who we got. And looking. A lot of chatty people. Sue Hayes, we got. Yeah. Sharon Stewart also here. Welcome, Sharon. Clicked in number 20. Awesome. And glad to be here. That is excellent. I'm glad you're here too. And let's see who else we got. Still scrolling upward. Lots of people to scroll through though. And let's see who we got. Going. Still going. And still going. Frank, we got Connie Tyree also here. Welcome. Glad to have you back. And we got Kevin. We got all those guys. Looking and DMC and Doghouse, Doghouse DMC saying happy Friday, and glad you're on board. Glad to have you here. And I'm scrolled up as far as I can go. I don't see any others up on the top there. Possibly some more down on the bottom. We did get Tom Dice already. And did I miss anyone else down on the bottom here? Sharon Stewart says, I hear you. Barbara, Dinkle Storm Chaser Dutch Weather, also here. Welcome, Barbara. And let's see, anyone else on the bottom that I might have scrolled across? Nope, I guess not. Looking at everybody there so far. So, looking good. If I did miss your name, it wasn't on purpose. Sometimes when I'm scrolling, I don't see everybody's name, like Scott Hartman, And did anybody watch King Colin get up yet? I'm in the Lurkers Lounge. It's been a 20-hour day. That's why he hasn't noticed his shoelaces tying together. I figured it should be that way. Anyway, yeah, so when I say it's an interesting day, the interest really is at this Fuego, and let's go over there first. We're going to zip over to Fuego and just have a quick peek, and there it is, erupting again, and it has been doing this all day long, and it's been doing it very, very actively. Fuego at some time today was just about continuously erupting material out of the top of it, a very dark material, lots of ash. And speaking of ash, there is actually an ash warning issued for the area because it has been throwing out so much. I got 2 left feet, Dr. Fox. Wow. I didn't notice that when I tied the laces together. Oops. Never mind. Innocent. Okay, never. Anyway. So yeah, it's been ongoing. Lots of boom boom, yeah. This morning I was kind of watching it, and I thought, well, maybe what I'll do is make a little bit of a time lapse. So this was, it's a little shaky, but this was from earlier this morning, and this was not the time era of when it was really, really active. That happened later when, after I had already finished with doing the time lapse, it got a lot more efficient or stronger. The shakiness is due to the wind there at the time. So the wind, of course, this volcano is 12,360 some feet tall, and of course, with being that big, the camera is mounted on another mountain at that kind of same elevation or very close to it, somewhere around 10,000 feet, and it gets a little windy up there. But as you can see, some of those blasts out of there are very, very powerful, and they are fairly frequent when you're looking at even counting the time, even as it's zipping by. So it was very, very active. There's a good one. And you see all the extra dust and everything and material, the tephra being thrown out on some of these shots. And it's pretty wild to see that. So for a Friday, it's Fuego is what's giving us the show, and that is pretty awesome, or at least it did during the daytime. This afternoon, later portions of the afternoon, it did slow down a little bit, and it seems to be a little bit calmer now, but still puffing on occasion, so we know it is still active. And of course, it seeing it do that, there's a good one. Kind of makes a guy wonder what the heck is going on. Something obviously jarred this thing loose, and there we go. That's the end of the time lapse. So pretty cool to see that. And what a sleep deprivation makes me think of Puff the Magic Dragon. Yeah, Puff the Magic Dragon, and I recall seeing what's that show? Not Britain's Got Talent. I think it was America's Got Talent, where they had the other one there called Piff the Magic Dragon, and Piff was a magician. He was hilarious. The only one that I ever seen standing up on a stage eating a banana while the judges are judging him, that kind of thing. So pretty awesome. Anyway, Fuego definitely was the showpiece earlier here today, and we'll check back with it in a while. For right now, we'll leave it be, and we'll see. You see those clouds are starting to move in there, so we may not get another chance to see it later on, but we'll see. Fluffy and I are in lurkers. Okay, Hermian, no problem, and that'll be all right. What is keeping you up, Colin? Oh boy, his feet, his legs? No, I'm trying to be punny. Okay, never mind. I'm going back to Iceland. Let's go back to Iceland and have a look and see what's going on there. And we can dispense with all that stuff on the screen here. Turn off our funky lava cam. Lava, go away. And info news can go away. There we go. And the date and time. There we go. I just got to get myself over to Iceland. And there we go, magic button, and away it goes. Make that a little higher quality. And that is what our wonderful city of Reykjavik looks like right now, the capital city of Iceland. And that is a nice nighttime shot. Doesn't look like it's raining there today. And let's take a look back in time. This is about 6 hours and 50 minutes ago, roughly. And there you go. We can see the mountains in the background, downtown in the front area. And let's see, is my mouse actually turned on that one? How about there? Yeah, let's turn it on. There we go. Now I can see my mouse. And yeah, mountains in the background, downtown, right there, the big buildings, and there's the big church, and everything looks pretty cool. Calm and quiet, nothing too outrageous going on. Earlier, about 10 hours ago, it was looking like this, a little bit on the gray side, so I thought it was going to snow again. A matter of fact, I think it did a little bit, but you know, when you're looking on the edges here, it looks like there was some snow buildup on there, but not very much at all. And you can't really see too much on these gray roofs. This white one doesn't count. That's not snow. That's just the color of the roof. But usually you see it on these ones. So if these ones go white, you know it's snowing. And let's go have a look at the other camera as well. And we need to crank the quality up on that one as well to see what it looks like going back about 7 hours here as well. And that's what it was like 7 hours ago, and that didn't look too bad at all. Really not bad, fairly nice. And their sunset time, that is about 5 hours and 20 minutes ago. That's kind of what we were seeing then. And if we go back to that 10-hour mark just to see what it was like, and that's about 10 hours ago, there's that same haze that we seen earlier. Anyway, putting that back on live, going to pop the other one back on live too. That way I can find these things later on. And let's go over to the other one that looks at Katla. And no, I didn't do any time lapses of that one today, and we'll have to improve that quality. There we go. And gives you a little bit of an idea of what Katla is looking like. And there's Katla underneath all that ice. We can see it there, right? No, we can't. It's hiding under the ice. Anyway, Katla volcano, fairly quiet. No eruptions. Lots of people running around looking at things here. So this one would be actually a pretty good spot if Katla went. You'd be able to observe it from here, which is kind of cool and neat. Depending on how ferocious the eruption is. If it's blowing this way and throwing ash out, I don't think you'd want to be up here. But anyway, that's Katla, and that is what that looked like. And even about 10 hours ago, it stayed clear out here, and that's yeah, that's about 10 hours ago, and that's what we were seeing. So looking not bad at all when you get right down to it. We do like that. Highlands, yep. Love the volcano status ticker. Okay, cool, Grenzed, and I'm glad you are enjoying that. That is a little extra thing that I figured I'd throw in there, and just kind of gives you an idea of what is going on, you know, and I don't need to really announce anything. It shows what it is, right? So all cool. Anyway, we'll put that one back on live as well, and this is what it looks like there right now. Very dark. And we'll go over to our harmonic tremor charts and have a look there. Need to get onto that page. There we go. Going to refresh that one so we have it up to date. And there it is, all the way up to date. Signals way down, but that is not a surprise. Although we are seeing quite a bit of little tremor activity happening there. And that is always something that interests us. So I'm seeing, you know, little shakers happening. Very, very neat. Anyway, I'm going to scroll up. Usually I scroll down to look at Grimsby and the other ones, but I'm scrolling up to look at Astja. And Astja and came up and went down, and it's still doing fairly busy, but not quite as busy as what it was a couple of days ago. So I don't know what's going on there. Are we going to be seeing... Yeah, I do see it dropped a little bit as far as the bit rate. So if you're buffering, that might be something that's going on. Why is my bit rate down? Well, it's back up to where it should be now. Or is it? No, it's doing a yo-yo thing. Things that make you go, All right. Well, okay. Hopefully it'll hang in there. It's actually higher than what it should be right now. Now it's back to normal. Okay. Weird. Friday night buffering, eh? And that is odd. It looks steady again now, so yep, steady as she goes. I got problems with internet connection. All right, I don't know if mine seems to be going up and down once in a while, but usually not on the stream, not the volcano stream. I have been watching the other one go up and down a little bit as far as the bunny stream. But it's not the 13th. There you go, Sophie. I have no idea. Hopefully it's solid now. Anyway, that is what we're seeing at Ascha. So let's go scroll down, and I just want to remark before I move away from that, that is pretty solid activity right there. When we're seeing the blue as wide as it is here, that is continuous almost. And it makes a guy wonder, what are we seeing? Yeah, Friday. It's got to be Friday. Freaky Friday. And let's go down and take a look at the Grimsey and see what we've got down there first. And then we'll take a look at our other one at Grindavik and go from there. So there's our Grimsey chart. And yeah, you know, way down. A few spikes lets us know there's a few quakes out in the area, but nothing super major, so I don't think we're going to see anything pop out of the water at the Grimsey area. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, that's what it is, and we'll leave that one be. Now looking at the Grindavik really quickly. Grindavik seems to be fairly heavy as far as a low frequency noise in here, but again still fairly low, so nothing really outrageous either there, but we'll take it as it comes and continue to see. Maybe a solar flare storm could be, Barbara. I have no idea what the heck is going on. I see the bit rate is pretty much normal right now, so we should be okay. Anyway, I'm scrolling back up to Frankfurt Fjord just so we can leave it there, and we'll be able to find that in our near future when needed. And moving on, we'll have a look at our earthquakes. And right now I have it on that map. I thought it was easier to find that one. And of course, looking at what we've got, there we go. I kind of just moved it a little bit. It refreshed on its own. On this map, we're not seeing a heck of a lot down here on the Reykjanes Peninsula. We do see a few up in the northern areas here around this ice patch. Over at Grimsvatn we had one, and of course over here this is Herderbreed, and Herderbreed very close to Ascha, and that is what we're seeing over there, and we'll talk about that once we go on the other map. And of course looking up here, there's Grimsey, the island, and what we have out there, the swarming that continues. And it's really not too much happening. But let's go to the other map, and we'll see what it looks like. And we'll start down here in the Reykjanes Peninsula, since we're already here, according to this. Total earthquakes today, 381 in the last 24 hours. So those numbers are coming down again, and that might be a good thing. Why did that just do what it did? Okay. Anyway, let's get back down here. Okay. Very small one, 0.51, 5.8 kilometers down, 2:28 a.m. for that guy out in the water. Then moving over a little bit. I just kind of give you a bearing on where we are here. There's the town of Grindavik, and our Ragnar is over here. And then, of course, there's Keflavik Airport. And just to help you out a little bit more, the Blue Lagoon and the power plant right there. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we are on the peninsula here. Anyway, 0.81, 6.1 kilometers down from 1504 for this guy. 0.49, 4.8 kilometers down, 1402. There's a couple of them stacked here. 0.73, 5.4 kilometers down, 8:25 in the morning. And then we also have 824 has a 0.37, 5.9 kilometers down for him. And moving over a little bit closer to the Blue Lagoon here, we got this 0.72, 4.1 kilometers down, 4:52 a.m. I don't think that's going to matter much. 0.31 here, 5.3 kilometers down, 46 minutes after midnight for him. Moving on and not worrying about any of those. We'll see. And there's our, of course, where Ragnar would be right about here. There's our Siggy Fisher and that location. And right up here on Storihöge, we have a 0.09, 10 kilometers down from 2350 yesterday. And then we'll grab this 0.1, very small quakes, of course. 7.4 kilometers down, happened at 1739. We've got a 0.42, 6.8 kilometers down from 256. And then this 0.03, and that is a little bit shallower, 404 meters down, 1:46 a.m. We've been getting a few shallow ones in this area, and I'm wondering what the heck is going on there. Every once in a while we see a very, very shallow one. Anyway, sliding over a little bit more, we do see a 0.69, 3.9 kilometers down, 10:44 a.m., very close to Krusavik, and that is right there, Krusavik. So that one's not too far away. Of course, the capital city of Reykjavik is right there. And here's this one, 0.52, 10.2 kilometers down, 6:51 this morning. Sliding over a little bit, and we see a 0.3 out in the water here, 7.8 kilometers down, and 17:15 was the time on that. Usually we see those happening here on this little peninsula, but no, it's there. And then this little swarm is continuing. We've seen this yesterday as well, but very small quakes, 0.1, 6.3 kilometers down, 1919 on that guy. 2037 for this 0.1, 7.5 kilometers down. This 0.28, 6.6 kilometers down from 159. And then we have the other 1.1, 8.2 kilometers down from 2130. And I'm sliding over a little bit more, seeing what else we got. 0.34 here for 7.7 kilometers down, 1307 or 1:07 p.m. And then we have this one from 2:46 in the afternoon. Iceland time, of course, 0.1, 2.9 kilometers down for that guy. And sliding over a bit more, looking at all of the other ones here. Let's just grab them and go. 0.7, 1.1 kilometers down, 7:31 this morning. 0.9, 1.1 kilometers down from 7:31 as well. And then we have this 0.67, 7.6 kilometers down from 2:22 a.m. And then we have this 1.4 from 7:37 in the morning, 8.6 kilometers down for him. This is Hekla right here, and this 0.19, and that is 5.9 kilometers down. Then getting closer to this one, I am not going to try to pronounce that one. 1.7, 2.7 kilometers down, 1808, and then we had a 0.4 right beside it, 5.2 kilometers down from 8:13 in the morning. Looking at what we've got going on at Katla, there's Katla right there. This one is a 1.29, and that is 449 meters down, 14:37 was the time on that guy. And we'll take a look at some of these other ones here. 0.77, 3.4 kilometers down, 25 minutes after midnight for him. His buddy that was right beside him on 0.75, 3 kilometers down, and that is at 13:23. At this point 1.1 kilometers down at 19:26. And then we're seeing this one here, 18:12. It's a 0.1, 5.2 kilometers down. Let's not forget about this 0.8, 5.2 kilometers down at 40 minutes after midnight. And that gives you a pretty good idea that there's really nothing major at Katla. We are seeing one right on top of Grimsvatn, though. Actually, a couple of them, little group, if you will. And there's Grimsvatn. And that's actually showing how tall it is at 1,725 meters. Anyway, at 2.2, 4.3 kilometers down from 2059. Then some smaller ones here, 0.2 and 3.8 kilometers down from 2222. We have this from this morning, 8:16 a.m. and 0.96, 3.6 kilometers down. And then we've got a 0.86. 3.5 kilometers down from 8:18, and I think we got them all. I thought there was another one there. Anyway, let's carry on here. 0.21, 9.8 kilometers down, 103 this morning for that guy. This 1.1 here is 3.8 kilometers down, 17:45 or 5:45 p.m. Iceland time. And that should be Bartabunga there. And this one here is a 0.6, 1.1 kilometers down from 2043. And then we are seeing this one from 2007, 0.8, 5.1 kilometers down, 0.47, 10.9 kilometers down, just about 11 kilometers. 13:13 was the time on him. 0.5 here, and that is from 4.2 kilometers down at 4:43 a.m. And as we move up to Astja only had one little quake in its own area. And I'm talking about the immediate area of Astja. And the other ones are all at Herderbreed. That's it, Herderbreed. Herderbreed. Boy, that one's tough to say. Anyway, 2100 was the time on it. 0.4, 11.8 kilometers down, so fairly deep. And here's the cluster at Herderbreed. And that has slowed down a little bit. But there's Herderbreed itself, flat top volcano. And that is fairly old. But let's just take a few samples here. 2.2 kilometers down for this 0.7 from 1835. This 0.1, 2.3 kilometers down, and we'll notice a lot of them are in the 2 kilometer range now. So 2032 for that 0.1. This one here a little deeper, 0.4, 4.5 kilometers down, 2043. And let's zoom in just a little bit more so we split them up a little bit. And we'll grab some of the older ones here. 1.09, 3.1 kilometers down. And that was 1:26 a.m. This 1.06, 2.1 kilometers down from 1506. This 0.49, 5.3 kilometers down from 2:47 this morning. Then we see this 1.06, 4.2 kilometers down, 1417. And Tom is saying it's break time. Yep. It is break time. I'm going to stop there for now, and we'll continue on with that. I mean, it's going to take a while before I can get through all of these, so we'll see what we can do, and we'll check the other portions. But the magic thing there that we got to note is that it seems that the earthquakes are starting to get a little higher, so... And that is something that we're going to have to kind of watch to see if we are going to get an eruption. There's always the quiet before the storm. Speaking of storms, hey S. Roberts, How's Simo today? Anyway, all you good people here, if please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And on that friendly note, also, if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. That would be awesome of you. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to go take a 5-minute break. Going to put you back on some canned lava, and we'll keep that going here. Let's, come on, canned lava. And turn that on. There it is. Turn that little thing back on the bottom. That way nobody can say, hey, that's old. Yeah, we know that. Anyway, I love those comments when people make those comments and say, yeah, that's all old. Yeah, well, that's why I have a date on it, just so you can see that, and very observant. Anyway, on that friendly note, I'm your host, going to go take doing a top job as always, Doc. Thanks, S. Roberts, and I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. And I'm going to go eat some German cookies. And don't tell anybody. I'll be back. the microphone is back on. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board. I'm your host, DrFox2000. You're watching VolcanoX, a live stream. And of course, this is canned lava that you're seeing right now from August 6th on the screen. Thank you, Oz. And wow, that was quick. Oz gifted one, and Chicky Gomberg, I got it. Excellent. And Chicky, you're lucky if you're in the background. And hopefully she is. And thank you for the welcome backs from Sue Hayes and Tom Dice and Kirst Chaplin. Thank you kindly. And I hear you from Sharon Stewart. Awesome. And glad to be back here. Thanks, Sasha, as well. And let's carry on, though, with what we were doing. And that was looking at our earthquakes that were in Iceland, and we are going through that volcano ticker is very cool, yeah, but it's really not showing much information, just the volcanoes that are, status and what is really happening. And Reventador in Ecuador is continuing to flow lava out, which is I wish we had a camera on it, though. Really would be really cool to be able to see that. Anyway, let's pop back over, and I just wanted to say thanks again for the wonderful gift there, Oz, and I'm glad that somebody that we know got it, Chicky, and hopefully she'll pop in here a little bit more often. As of late, I haven't seen her too much, but hopefully she'll get in there. Anyway, we were looking at this area here. Of course, this is Herdebreed, flat top volcano out here in the northeastern portions of Iceland. We've already looked at some of these and seen that some of them are getting up to that 2 kilometer mark. And this one is not 0.6, 5.3 kilometers down, 927 for that guy. Let's check this other one out here, 0.67, 4.7 kilometers down, 1:01 a.m. For him. There we have a 0.3, 3.8 kilometers down, 2101 for that guy. Let's grab this one, 1.2 kilometers down for this 0.6, and that is from 1925. And let's see, we're going to pop onto some of these other ones here. I want to keep looking, and we'll take a look right up on the hill in a second. 0.8, 4.4 kilometers down from 2043. And let's grab this 0.9, 5.1 kilometers down from 2028. This 0.2, 5.2 kilometers down, and that is from 441 this morning. And then we've got a 0.2, 5.2 kilometers down. And again, this is kind of what I was saying yesterday with seeing the quakes a little more shallow here compared to here. If we were to have an eruption, I would say it'd probably be here somewhere or possibly here somewhere. And let's dive into this batch right here. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Picked out the biggest ones first. We've got a 2.35 here, 3.8 kilometers down from 1017. Then we also have this one, 2.51, 3.1 kilometers down from 5:51 a.m. Some of the other ones, 0.7, 2.5 kilometers down from 1350. And this 0.31, 2 kilometers down for 9:39 a.m. Let's grab this guy here, 0.49, 2.7 kilometers down, 5:16 a.m. And let's go with this guy, 1.4 kilometers down for this 0.15 from 10:50 a.m. 0.02, really small, 4.3 clicks down from 10:40. This guy out here a little further away, 0.52 kilometers down, or sorry, 5.2 kilometers down, 0.2, and 4:26 is the time on it. We see a lot of zeros in here. I'm not going to worry about those. Let's try this 1.04 and 3.2 kilometers down, 10:20 in the morning. This other guy here, 0.2, 4.2 kilometers down, 1054. And going up a little further, another 0.2, 5.2 clicks down. So it doesn't look like these smaller ones are going to produce anything, but we're seeing down in this area a little bit more shallow material, and that is always interesting. That one happens to be a little deeper, 4.5 kilometers down, 6.1 from 11, 13. 0.5, 3.8 kilometers down, 2217 for that newer one. This one here, 0.5, 3.8 clicks down, 1517 the time on that. This little stack here, 1.12, 4 kilometers down, 1612 on him. So 1.72, 4.5 kilometers down, 1347 for that guy. And, you know, we see all kinds of quakes there. I'm not going to sit there and go over every one of them, but that gives us a pretty good idea. And what we've been seeing is it's slowly getting up higher and higher as far as the elevation. So, you know, we're seeing some that are up as high as 1 kilometer from the surface. So it kind of makes you wonder what's going on, right? Are we seeing magma slowly intrude into the surface layer, or are we seeing it coming up? And if it gets into a cooler area, will it solidify and encase itself if there is indeed magma active down there? And that is the other chance of what can happen. So all that matters is the location of swarms and then rates. Yep, it's an interesting adventure. Anyway, this one here, 1.09, 2 kilometers down from 13 minutes after 3 a.m. Then we also have a 0.29, that is from 4:09 a.m. 3.3 clicks down for him. And let's go take a look. First, this one that's way out here, 5.2 kilometers down for this 2.7 from 12:30. And now we're going to look around Grimsey and see what we've got there. And these ones typically were around 10 kilometers in depth. This one 1.5, 9.5 kilometers down, 2141 for him. And then we've got this one from 1837, 1.2 kilometers down, and a 1.2 in magnitude, 4.9 kilometers down. My bad. Holy macaroni. This 0.91, 10 kilometers down, 44 minutes after midnight. Then a 1.2, 4.6 clicks down, 2118 for him. And we'll grab some of the larger ones in here. 1.8, 10 kilometers down, 1231 for that guy. 1.29, 10 kilometers down, 3:56 a.m. for him. Then we have this 1748, 1.1 in magnitude, 6.1 kilometers down, a little bit deeper, I guess. Down on the southern end of that, though, we see a little bit shallower, 3.4 kilometers down for this 1.6 from 2005. Then we continue on, 1.8, 4.5 kilometers down, 1231 for that. And then we have 6:29 a.m., 1.1, 5.1 kilometers down for him. I think we checked that 1.8 already. But it is 10 kilometers down, 1231. Let's zoom in just a little bit, split them up. And this 0.96, 9.4 kilometers down, 9.95, not 96. And that is from 9:05 a.m., too many nines in there. And this 1.4, 6.6 kilometers down, and 2250 for him. His buddy right next door, 6.4 kilometers down as well, 1.5 and 2054 for that guy. So just in general, it gives you a pretty good idea. We do have that little other swarm here, and I'm not sure what that's all about. 4.8 kilometers down for this magnitude 2 from 2330, very fresh. And then we've got a 0.91, 10 kilometers down, 1439. is the time on that guy. 2006, we had another 1.4, 6.1 clicks down. While we're looking at 1.4s, let's do this one, 7.8 kilometers down, 1731 for him. And then we'll check his buddy here, 1.07, 10.2 kilometers down, 11:53 this morning. 0.95, 10 kilometers down, 3:14 a.m. for that. This one, 0.95, yeah, 7.4. We got him. All right, that should be it for our earthquakes in Iceland, and it gives us a general overview of what we've got. Nothing is written in stone here. Well, it's all in stone. It's in lava. It's all written in lava. Anyway, the area of interest, of course, is Herderbreed, or right around the edges of Herderbreed, and that is what we want to see if we get an eruption here or here, if we get anything, or maybe we'll get 2 eruptions. How about that? That would be awesome too. Unfortunately, where this is located is a very poor spot for any type of visibility, because there are no roads or infrastructure in the area that you can get out there. If anyone wants to observe it, you're basically going to have to fly over it, unless you want to take a very, very long hike in, and I don't advise that. Okay. Anyway, let's carry on with our other wonderful stuff that we have on the menu today. And of course, that's moving on over to the Azores. And let's see if they got me the other picture back. Yep, they did. This picture was gone before. And of course, what we're seeing here is the harbor. One of the harbors. We are on the island of São Jorge, or São Jorge, if you want to say it in Portuguese. We do see the lights of Pico Island off in the distance. We do have a picture of that. There it is during the daytime. Not today necessarily, but at least you can see what it looks like. You can see Mount Pico, or Pico volcano, over on Pico Island. It's also called Mount Montana. So if you see that on a map, you'll know that it's the same one. The other one we always look at, of course, is that little cove, and what we look for is the white water that pops in there, and we can tell how rough the ocean is. And the white water, of course, is the area down on the bottom here that we see some waves. We're not seeing anything splashing like it was yesterday, where it was literally bouncing over the dock area here and stuff. So a little bit calmer there today. Let's take a look and see what we've got on the earthquake map for this place. I'm going to spread that out a little bit. There we go. And looking at it, looks like 3 quakes. We have a 2.4 from 1014, and then we have a 1.5 from 1802, and a 2.1 from 2257. And those 3 are all the ones that are on St. George. We're going to take a look and see what the other map looks like. I'm going to refresh that one though, because we want to make sure that we didn't miss anything. We're only seeing 3 there, so let's see if that is in fact what we've got. And let's slide. There we go. Yep, that is the entire area of the Azores for the most part. There we go. We got all of them. And we're not seeing anything else in the area. And the 3 are on here on the island. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see it a little bit better. Anyway, that is St. George. There's Pico Island, Fayal Island, and Terceira. And of course, Terceira is also the name of the volcano right there. That is the other one that is of concern there in the Azores, and that is a neat looking volcano. Anyway, I'm zooming all the way out just so you can get an idea of where you are. There is Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Over here on this side, of course, is Portugal, Spain, Ireland, England, just so you get an idea of France. And Iceland is up here. And of course, this big long red line, that is the mid-Atlantic ridge. and this one is referred to as the East Azore Fault, and that is going this way, separates the Eurasian and African plate, and then of course the North American plate over on this side. That's it for there in the Azores. Let's move on. Dr. Fox, 5 minutes till Pepsi time. Thank you, and appreciate that, Tom. And going back over here, shaky. Look at that. Somebody's shaking the camera. And again, I have to mention that that camera is mounted up on the side of a mountain, and it is windy up there. I haven't seen anything pluming out for the last few minutes, so that is okay. But we're going to go take a look at Popocatépetl first, and we'll head to Mexico here, and that'll give us a pretty good idea of what Popocatépetl was doing. And it really wasn't all that great this morning. It was fairly quiet, really. And this is at 7:11 a.m. Golden Time, as we call it. We do see a little bit of a plume coming out of there. And it did also have a darker tinge or color to it, showing that it did indeed have some ash in there. But that did not last long. It's small puffs, and then that went away. You know, like if you go ahead just a few minutes, it's already dissipated, and the next puff didn't happen for quite some time here. I'm just trying to scan forward to see where it is. There were some little tiny ones, but really nothing major. So that's kind of what it was looking like there, what, at 9:14. And as we move on, they did have a fairly nice day there, or at least in the morning, by the looks of it. We do see some clouds starting to move in at around 10 minutes after 10, and yeah, shortly thereafter, 10:30, that's what it was looking like. And then it stayed volcano gray for most of the rest of the day. And we'll go back to a live. That's what it is right now at sunset time. If we look at the other angle real quick, I'll start out in the morning. It was actually a kind of a beautiful sunrise there, and seeing that, I thought it was nice. And all we need now is some lava coming out, and it would be really an awesome shot as far as I'm concerned. But that is what we've got. So unfortunately, it doesn't bode so well when we don't have lava. Let's see if we can move that ahead a little bit to see that little plume, and that would have been right about here. So yeah, and that's what it was doing this morning. But I want to see lava. I want to see gallons and gallons of lava coming out. And yep. Anyway, I admire those jackets too. What? Jackets? What's the price on that jacket, Dr. Fox? What jacket? Huh? What the heck are you guys talking about, jackets? I have no idea. Lava, please. I want lava too. Anyway, we see where it went into the cloudy areas here at 10 a.m. and then after that it was a no-go. So that's kind of what we've seen. So I'm going to put that back on live. That's what it looks like right now. But let's go back over to Fuego, and Fuego is jiggling, and yeah, a little bit too much. We do see a little bit of a plume coming out of there of just gas right now. So I'm wondering if it gassed itself out and cleared its pipes. In the margin of the previous video segment, there were jackets for sale. Oh, I didn't even pay any attention, Sharon Stewart. Sorry. I ignore ads. I'm not one of those guys who reads those, which is, I don't know, maybe good or bad. But anyway, I want to bring this back to a couple of the extraordinary eruptions that we're seeing this morning. So 8:45 is the time that we've seen. Let me back that up just a second here. And we'll just let that play in real time. This is not sped up. This is what we were seeing. And look at the chunks of material flying out of there. And that was pretty awesome. And you see how dark that pyroclastic material is. And again, these are the types that you want to be watching for volcanic lightning. When you see that heading out like that at that high rate of speed, you may notice there quite a bit of dust going down. That means there is a lot of material coming down the side of the hill, and that is very, very cool, very awesome. Impressive, clear video. Yep, it is. Grand Zed, I did really enjoy that, and that is very, very thick, very, very nauseous type material. And you notice it didn't just stop there, it continued on for a little while. So this was a sizable eruption, which is pretty cool. I think I saw lightning on the left. That's possible, Sharon. I missed it. I was talking too much. That happens when you're hosting a show. You got to keep talking for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, fill the soundtrack with something. But that is a lot of material coming out of there all in one shot. And that's uncommon for what we typically see there at Fuego. So very interesting to see this thing popping. And of course, for those who aren't familiar with Fuego, it is in Guatemala, and it is throwing out a lot of material. And very, very cool and awesome. So Fuego is our volcano of the day, if you will. And just to overlook or overview that a little bit. Oh, actually, it is break time. I'm going to go for that break, you guys. As you can see, there's more material coming out again in this shot. Maybe I'll leave that on here while I'm on break. So just remember, this is from 8:47 this morning, just so you guys know that. So pretty awesome, and I'll leave it on for right now. Unfortunately, the ticker is not on this scene, so I can't throw it on here, but we'll leave that on. It's going to do more, and we'll keep watching it. All right, you guys, I'm going to go for that break. After the break, we're going to have bacon seeds, and we will also have some more of those wonderful carvings, compliments of Peggy, and she's done a wonderful job sending us a few good ones for today, being Friday, and very, very close to Halloween, and Halloween is on Monday, so that'll be awesome. Okay, you guys, don't go away. Keep smiling. Be good. I see a bunny coming in to get some dinner, and I'm not sure which one it is, but he's changing color. He's half white already. The other half is still all kinds of other colors. Anyway, I'm your host, DrFox2000, back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Also, please do consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new on the outside, and then I will be very happy. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. On that friendly note, I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so, and we'll have bacon seeds. Keep smiling. Play nice in the dust. By the way, don't breathe that stuff. Put your masks on, okay? You need them. I'll be back. Thanks. go. I have that microphone back on, and someone was asking about what is the age of that volcano, and I'm trying to bring up my volcano list here on volcanoes.com. It seems to be stubborn. Give me a second, and we'll see if we can get that list up here. Why is when I click on here, it's supposed to give me a list of volcanoes, volcano database. Come on, you can do it. F for Fuego, and there we go. And let's see if we can give you some stats on Fuego. And again, I have no idea what the price on those jackets are on the side. Anyway, Fuego, that is from the 29th. And height, 12,346 feet, or 3,763 meters. Erupting at a rate of 4 out of 5 is what it's showing right now. There is its location in Central America, and in Guatemala, of course. And here are your eruption dates. And since 2002, it has been ongoing. And the first eruptions that were noted were back in 1581. And we'll have to confirm that with Irish Monk. I'm sure he has been there before. Let me get rid of the other stuff here, and that is on my screen. And there we go. Get rid of that, a little banner. And that is kind of the stats on it. So hopefully that'll help you out a little bit and let you understand what we've got going on there. So pretty awesome to see that, and very, very neat. And ash from Fuego seen from a distance, and that is kind of an eerie looking scene, but cool nonetheless. All right, I'll leave it there. And I am going to go over to the bacon seeds as promised. And thank you for the welcome backs from everyone. And let's see, that is from Oz and Kevin Haynes and Sue Hayes. And did we get anybody else in here? Cookster Littlefield as well. Thanks, and that's good. For now, of course, that was our last bacon seed yesterday. And let's get to the first bacon seeds for today. Quiet. They are quiet. We'll talk to Irish Monk for more info. Yeah, there you go. Hey, EC, welcome. Glad to have you on board. You're just in time for bacon seeds. And there's 4 little piggies sleeping very quietly. Let's not wake them up. They got racing stripes, and this is our next bacon seed, and that guy is kind of just enjoying the sunshine, got one eyeball kind of closed because the sun is too bright, and he's looking at the camera. We gotta love that. Just woke up, yeah, possibly one eye open, and looking pretty awesome. Next bacon seed is this little snout bopper, and of course he's been rooting in the grass and the mud and stuff, looking for truffles, I bet, or something like that. Looking pretty awesome. Let's get to our next one, and that is another little bacon seed. Definitely not lacking in food. He's got a nice looking physique and some mud on his nose. I guess he was doing what he was doing best, and him too looking for truffles. Gotta love it when they are all looking pretty awesome, and a smile on his face, of course. So very, very cute to see. And here's a carpet sniffer. He's looking for truffles too, but he ain't finding any. And that is what we've got there. And the last bacon seed for today is this little bacon seed, and it is a very young little bacon seed, and you gotta admit he's cute. He's a tiny little guy, and not very old at all, maybe a day or so. And yep, enjoying the straw or the hay, and that's pretty cool. So that is our bacon seeds for today. We'll move on though, and we'll take a look at our carvings that we had. And of course, that was the last carving from yesterday, and BB-8 was the name of that droid, and it was cool. Fuego age of rock, 2,000 what? 200,000 years. 200,000 years. Cool. And that's old. A little older than me, just by a bit. A little older than Irish monk too. Anyway, this is the first carving of the day, and I have to admit I had to look at this picture to understand what we're actually looking at. And what we're seeing there is waves splashing, and we have a mountain in the background. Hey, Brian Rock Rail fan, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. This is an absolutely amazing shot, the way they did that carving. And yep, tsunami wave, and that is really, really cool. Cursed, you're young. Don't worry about it. Anyway, next one is this one here. And this one, I tried to figure out what it is. And it's got to be one of those Aboriginal masks from somewhere. And I've yet to figure out what country that is actually from. And I was hoping we'd have somebody here from New Zealand. Can anyone from New Zealand maybe tell me if that is a New Zealand thing, or is this one from Hawaii? I really don't know, but it looks really, really intricate as far as the carving itself. A heck of a job for whoever did it. And you can see the fish or sharks in there with the teeth, and it looks like birds in there as well. Wow, that's artwork and line. Yep. I love that. Okay, the eyes are the sun's. Yep, very, very cool. And nostrils also appear to be little suns of sorts. Not New Zealand, more Mexican looking for me. Okay, Granzed, that's possible. I really don't know. That's why I'm asking, because I have no idea of where that might be from. So very, very cool. Next one, of course, is this one. This is a little bit of a fuzzier picture, but that is an excellent horse, and that must have taken a long time to carve that. That looks fairly well in proportion and everything, so very, very cool, very awesome, and probably took a long, long time to get Aztec feel to it. For sure. Okay, Cookster, got it. And when you say that, that actually does make a little more sense. Anyway, it was lovely anyway. Yep, it was. And this horse is fantastic as well. Next guy is this one. And Little Shop of Horrors. And that has got some detail in it. I have no idea how these guys are able to carve these this well. This is just absolutely fantastic. So, you take a look. It's whatever the, I don't know if that's, it doesn't look like a shark, maybe whatever big fish that is, lots of teeth though. And the human hanging there from the branch / root or whatever it is, holding on to it. And boy, that is free me, Seymour. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of detail on that shot. Carving pumpkins is hard. Hey, I have enough of a hard time just trying to carve any kind of a face into it, let alone this. You know, like when I look at this, I really do have to applaud these guys. This is absolutely fantastic. And, you know, the big thing is what they're doing here is they're using the depth of the carving to allow the brightness in and out. And I would butcher that so quickly it would be funny. But that looks pretty awesome. And one last one for today's carvings, and that is this one. And of course, I look at that and I know right away that would be a Scotty, and that is something that Piggy probably seen and wanted to include, and I really have to say that is an awesome carving. You know, it really is, to be able to see that. So yeah, wonderful to see. Anyway, let's leave that there. By the way, just so you guys know, Piggy is in the background somewhere, and in the background watching Not a Good Day Today. Okay, yep. I did get an email from her, and she's kind of taking a break, and I can understand. So anyway, thoughts go out to Piggy, of course, and that is an awesome carving. All right, let's carry on with our other volcanoes, and we'll see what we've got around the other parts of the world. Hopefully, we'll see some interesting stuff, and we'll carry on here. Michael, hey, that's not a volcano. You are very observant and astute, actually, to notice that that wasn't a volcano. I'm very, very happy you were able to do that. And yeah, it wasn't. It's a carving of a dog. Blessings, friends, Hawaii. And no, well, thanks for the blessings from Hawaii. But this is actually a Merapi, and that is down on Java. And that is what we're looking at right now. I got to get myself on the right screen here, though. And we want to go back a little bit in time just to see if what it was looking like. And a little on the fuzzy side, which is pretty normal for this shot. Want to make sure that we get up to better quality here. 720 is as good as it's going to get. And going back, we were in the soup for the most part for majority of the night, and really nothing too visible when we're looking at it. So not going to worry about that guy. You can see how cloudy it is there. Quick peek though, I'm going to put that back on live so I don't forget. And we do see that it is off gassing though. That is definitely throwing some material out up top here and creating some smoke. So maybe we'll see some lava coming from it later on. Sliding over to New Zealand real quick, and there is a Mount Ruape, who again got to crank that quality up. There we go. And that is, of course, you see the clouds in the way. If we go back up a little bit, I don't know how good the weather was there today. I didn't have a lot of time to spend looking at it. That's still in the clouds. And yeah, I think earlier this morning for them was in the clouds as well. Yeah, there you go, rain showers pulling over. Those are pretty fast moving clouds if you ask me. And if we go back even further, we see that it was horrible as far as the rain. So it did rain, a little bit of a break in the clouds there at present, but it still looks like pretty cloudy. And we'll leave it at that. I'll put it back onto this one, and we'll go over to Semeru. and see what's happening at Semeru. Of course, daytime stuff in Semeru right now, very early in the morning, getting on the right page. Crank the quality up just a little and see how that looks. Not much different, but we see our trucks are coming through the little ditch here. Very good. And not seeing too much of anything from the volcano. If we back up, though, we should be able to see a little bit when we go further back. This is about 5.5 hours ago, and we do see a little bit right there. Not a heck of a lot. Let's see if we go back some more. And it really wasn't all that visible today, unfortunately. So that's kind of what we were seeing. There you go. You can kind of sort of see it between the clouds and hiding underneath the cloud here, or the cloud is just below it, and you know, stars up top, but the clouds are low. Happens in those tropical areas where the moisture level is sitting just above the trees or in the trees, so that is pretty normal for them. And let's throw it back on live. That is it right now, 7:25 a.m. for them there in the Indonesia, and of course that is on east end of Java Island. And there we go. I'll leave that guy be. Let's head over to Japan, and there we go. Sliding into Japan real quick, and let me get on the right page. Where is, that's not Japan, hang on, there we go, I got the right one. So Sakurajima been behaving, I think, for the most part. You know, from what I've seen going back a couple hours, looks about the same as what it does right now. So that is pretty much what we've got there. Bird flying by, pretty cool. And when we went back into the night about 4.5 hours ago, we weren't seeing anything pop out. We do see it. They had clear skies, which is really nice for them. But nothing, no real volcanic activity. We do see a little bit here at 2:30 in the morning. A little bit of off-gassing and material coming out, but nothing lavally or anything like that. And I think there was another time here where we had a little bit of a poof out, and that would have been about here. And you can see a little bit of a cloud, but again, really nothing major coming out of it. So fairly quiet for the most part at Sakurajima. If we put that back onto live, of course, that shows you what it is right now. And let's take a quick look here. Oh, we need to fix the quality on that one too. You know, it said 1080p, but that looked more like 144p. Ice cream boat heading in, and get your ice cream and get them quick. And that is pretty cool. And I know Taal volcano is not showing right now, unfortunately, so we can't go over there and have a look. But what I'm going to do is put you back on our canned lava, and we'll take a look there. So ice cream boat should be docked within about 2 or 3 minutes. You can always run down, go grab an ice cream, and enjoy the canned lava. 79 likes, like 79, thanks Michael, and we'll hopefully get a few more likes in there. Of course, we're trying to get over that 100 mark. That's kind of the magic mark for the YouTube analytics, and that is what we like to see. So for all of you who have not yet hit that like button, please do consider giving it a quick bop. Would be really, really nice of you. Also, if you're new and sitting on the sidelines, you want to chat with the wonderful people here, please, you know, hit that subscribe button. 1 minute later, you're in and you're chatting. So, all good. And our bunny did come back. He was gone here for a minute, and he's eating again. So, and he's leaving again. Yeah, now in and out, I guess, is the way it is for those bunnies. Okay, as that boat docks, like I say, it'll be there shortly. You guys can always enjoy your ice cream. And let's go back to our canned lava in a second. Just need to find where I put my stuff. Where's my stuff? And I want to refresh that. I just want to check and see if Taal was up. And no, they're still not up. So that is all good. And there we go. I'm going to pop it back over to the canned lava. Got to make sure that can has still got some lava in it. And we might have to back that up a little bit. And we'll back it up all the way to the beginning. There we go. Well, I'll leave it on there. Keep smiling, everyone, and be good. Play nice in the lava. Don't go grabbing anything hot. And I put that ticker back on for you guys. For all those good people here, like I say, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please do that and help us out. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't go away. Keep smiling and be nice. And there we go. We're back on. I'm going to reline that up. There we go. That should be about middle. Okay, I made that little ticker thing a little bit bigger. And I see a few people are having problems trying to see it. And of course, down below it also says footage recorded August 6th. And I understand that if you're using a phone, a small device, that it would be a little bit difficult to see. But as far as making it too big, then we can't see the rest of the screen, and that's kind of defeats the purpose. Thank you for the welcome backs from Sue and Sharon Stewart saying, I hear you, Dr. Fox, and Oz, drum roll, Dr. Fox, please. And there we go. And welcome back from Kirst Chaplin as well. Thanks. And Oz, of course, and Kevin Haynes, and I think we got everybody for now. So I have my glasses on too. You know, and I understand it's even on my phone when I watch some of the replays sometimes and stuff, I have to enlarge it. Otherwise, I can't see it myself. So it is what it is. I guess that's the beautiful thing that comes when you, never mind, I'm not going to say when you get old. That'll make me feel old. I don't want to feel old. I'm young, and young, spry chicken, all that stuff. Next volcano on our list, of course, is our super volcano, and that is a Yellowstone National Park. And there we go. Me too. All right. Older. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Gren Zed. Anyway, Yellowstone National Park has over 500 active geysers. Or if, since we're talking old, they could be geysers. They are also very old. And they've been around for a while, a couple of hundred years, if not more. Yes, there is white stuff there. It is a non-mentionable white stuff. And I don't know if that out here is a buffalo or not. I think it moved, and it might be a buffalo. So we might have a buffalo there. I wish they'd zoom in on those guys. That'd be cool. And yep, a white chalk. Yeah, the lines are chalk. This other stuff here, yeah, okay, it's white chalk. All right, same with that, all that. Even the stuff up here in the hills, that's white chalk too. There we go. Fixed. And oh no, Kirst, you're gone. Oh no, that's bad. I'll be 63 next month. Sorry to hear that, Kevin. And glad that you're getting up there to that wonderful number. And let us know what day. Then we'll have to try and remember that and get you a cake or something. And heavy frost. Yep. Anyway, let's carry on. Next place is one that's a little bit better. This place here, we can't grow palm trees here, okay? But we can at this other place. And we're going there. And that is what we're looking at now, is the caldera of Kilauea. And that is in Hawaii, of course. And that is yesterday's shot. We're going to refresh that, and we'll see what it looks like right now. And there you go. And that's actually a fairly decent, clean shot. Of course, down on this end is where the lava tube is that feeds this lava pond. That is inside the caldera of Kilauea. And the lava tube kind of hiding, we don't see it, but we can see the pattern that it creates as it flows in here. And of course, as things get crusty and move over, and it changes forever and ever. But we do see the brighter spots and along the edges here in some spots. And those are places where the lava is draining back out. and it is heading down into the abyss. We're not sure exactly where it is. Nobody's been able to figure that out, whether it's going back into the magma chamber or just sitting inside the caldera itself. We don't know, not 100% sure. But the reason that we can see where the bubbles come up and break that surface area is because as the lava is draining down, the bubbles are lighter in weight. They move upward and they pop right out through the thinner, crusty layers, and that is pretty cool. We do see a bunch of cracking very nicely in this. We also notice that the edge here has been cleaned up a whole bunch, and Mother Nature does a nice job at getting rid of the extra debris that was in there. So we'll probably see this piece break out eventually as well. Probably all of it, right up to here somewhere, will eventually go, and that includes portions of our toe area here. So anything is possible. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's carry on to the next shots. This one, of course, from a little different angle. There's your lava pond, and a primary vent is here. The Hornito would be about here. We do see smoke way up on the side of the hill here. It makes you wonder where that's coming from. And we also see a lot of smoke over here. And I'm not going to say too much about it, but some of it is coming out from up in the top areas, some of it from the bottom. And makes me wonder what's going on. Is there a movement along the edges where we're going to see more of the caldera break out and fall into the existing pond here, or the existing caldera area that has got all that lava in it? Anyway, moving on. I think that is refreshed. Let's double check. No, this is the refreshed picture. There you can actually see the little Hornito there, where the lava pond, or the lava tube is going into the lava pond, and that's not a bad picture there. So let's move on, and we'll take a look from this side, this way. That is with this shot. This, I do believe, is yesterday's. It is, and you can see the primary vent there. The Hornito would be right around there. Let's refresh that one. Take a look at there. That's much better, much easier on the eyes, and more defined. Anyway, there's your Pig Island in here, and that is pretty cool. And hard to tell because of the shadowing, but that lava tube comes in right there, and it is kind of dark and a little bit of shade in there, but there is a hole in there, and that does allow the lava to flow out into the lava pond. And of course the entire crater looks pretty awesome from this view. And of course the you see Pig Island and this other area here where it looks like it's a little bit of a reddish color almost. Anyway, that darker material, all of it is really a floating island of cooled down lava on top of the lava slash magma that's in underneath it. So this thing is actually a floating island, which is pretty scary. And here's the thermal. This was yesterday's. I'm going to refresh it for today, and there we go. That is today's thermal, fairly up to date. And there's your primary vent. There's your little Hornito. Lava tube would be in here somewhere, and of course lava pond, self-explanatory. Not very much glow coming from the toe area, and the lava level is fairly low in here. So this thing needs to start producing. We need more lava. It is just needed. It's more lava required. Eddie Oturo, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. And did I miss anyone else sneaking in there? Timothy Sowers, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board as well. And let's see, anyone else? Tetra is in the house. Welcome, Tetra. Glad to have you here. And did I miss anyone else? I hope I got everybody's name. Anyway, welcome to all of you, regardless if I mentioned your name or not, but I'm glad to have you on board. Anyhow, that's it for our Hawaii area there at Kilauea. Quick pop over to look at the Mauna Loa caldera. That's yesterday's shot, so we'll refresh that. And today's really doesn't look much different than yesterday's. Maybe a little bit more blue sky in there. This thing is still huge, and I really don't want to see this whole thing shoot off at the same time. That would be really, really scary. And I think that would make one of the larger eruptions if it all blew at the same time. If we do see something, I'm sure that there'll be, one or two little spouts in here, maybe try to build a mound. I don't know if this is an actual mound over here or not, but it does look like it's fairly flat. And one of the reasons it's flat, it's because of that, what they term pahoehoe lava, which is a very, very thin and runny material. And that is, of course, going to smooth out and make level surfaces. And because there are no huge temperature variants like when we have in Iceland, we're not going to see a caldera like this break and crumble and bend and twist and crust up and, in different shapes and stuff. It'll be that pohoihoi stuff stays together, stays level, stays flat. And Oz gifted another one. Wow, gifted one membership. Thank you very much, Oz. That is really very kind of you. And awesome. Okay, let's pop over and we will take a look at our earthquakes. And what we want to do is take a look at the Hawaiian earthquakes. And we'll get in there in a second. I just want to line that up and pop over there. There we go. There's your Hawaiian island chain. And pardon me. Zooming in a little bit on Hawaii, the big island, and then we see it now. First one we've got is right here, brand new, fresh from 1806, 30.5 kilometers down, 2.1 in magnitude. And I'm going to put it on the ocean map here. Luihi Seamound is out here. So these are not happening at Luihi. Luihi is way out there. And just wanted to kind of make sure that we understand that. So this stuff is just right on the edge of the island, and all interesting. And put it back on the satellite view, and there we go. And let's grab some of these other ones, see what they are. 2.4, 3 minutes after midnight, and 31.3 kilometers down. 2.4 here, 4 minutes after midnight. A minute apart, and 32.5 kilometers down for him. 1.8, 1905 yesterday, 31.7 kilometers down. This one is a 2.0, and that was from today at 12:54, 35.3 clicks down. 1.7, 8:34 a.m. 38.2 kilometers down, a little deeper than normal. And this 1.8 is 11:33, and that is 32.4 kilometers down for that 1.8. And then we've got a little bit bigger one here, 2.1, yesterday's 22:18, 32.3 kilometers down. 1.8 at 22:22 yesterday, 34.3 kilometers down for him. And did we get these guys? Yeah, 2.4 from 3 minutes after midnight, and the other one was 4 minutes after midnight. Yep, what are these guys doing here? This one was from 22 minutes after midnight, only 3 kilometers down, and it was a 2.2, of course. Then we have this one right on the shore, 2.1, and that is 9:57 a.m. and 32 kilometers down for him. And then his friend here, 2.3. Yesterday's 21:13 and 31 kilometers down. This one here, 2.0, and that is 8:54, 32.4 kilometers down for him as well. And let's go climb up, way up here onto Mauna Loa. And we do see a few, but not as many. And, you know, remember a few weeks ago, this was filled right up. So that swarming has calmed down. And this is kind of a natural thing that we see with volcanoes. We think that they're going to erupt, and then they say, well, maybe not. But hey, that is the way it is. Anyway, this is a 2.1, happened yesterday at 2311, and it is 1 kilometer above sea level up into the mountain. 1.9, and that is 300 meters above sea level into the mountain from 1450. Then we've got this guy here, another 1.9, 4:28 a.m., 1 kilometer above sea level. And then this guy here, a 2.7, biggest one on top today, I think. And that is 1.5 kilometers above sea level from 1:57 a.m. Let's not forget this guy over here. Oh, no, 2.0. What was that one? 2.7, yeah. The 2.0 over here from 1406. And that is 3.5 kilometers below sea level. And again, we also have that swarming going on here. So kind of wondering, you know, is this thing dying out, or what have we got going on? Maybe we'll see some future activity. We'll see what happens. And we got another earthquake here on the hill, and that is a 2.0 from 22 minutes after midnight, 4.3 kilometers below sea level for that guy. And zooming into our Kilauea crater, there it is. And we do see these off here on the edge, a little bit bigger, 2.9, 1616 was the time, and 700 meters below sea level for that guy. This guy, 2.7, same time, 1616, 2.4 kilometers down, and that is what we've got there. The only other one we see is the older one here, and that is a 3.0 from yesterday at 16 and 19. So just about 24 hours and 3 minutes apart for those. Maybe the lava workers are using a stopwatch. I don't know. They're responsible for earthquakes too. We know that. Anyway, zooming back out, looking for anything else on the island. We don't see anything else. We had that previously. And that's it for there. Let's zoom out all the way. Actually, I'm going to close that off. And we want to be able to see the entire world and have a quick peek and see where the bigger ones are today. Let's start up here in the Aleutian Islands, 4.2, and that is 1624 was the time on it, 52.5 kilometers down. That's a fair size quake, but nobody out there, I don't think. And zooming in here, I do see some more activity. 3.2 here in Texas, 4.4 kilometers down from 1508. Kind of an odd place. Then we've got another one here, 2.0. There's a few of them stacked up right here, and it's like a mini swarm. I have no idea why they would be swarming there. And 2.1, this one is, I don't think it's New Mexico, it's still Texas, but right close to the border there. So that's kind of what we've got there. Sliding down the coast a little bit, we see one just off of, click on it, there we go, 4.1, Guatemala, and that is, what is it, 4:39 a.m., 10 kilometers down for that 4.1. Then we got this 4.4 off the coast of Nicaragua, 47.9 kilometers down from 9:08 this morning. And here we've got a little bit of a swarm going on, and this is just off the coast of Peru. That's a fair size 5.8, and that is from 1809, 7.7 kilometers down. This one here, 4.9 from 1813, 10 kilometers down. 4.4, 1809, 10 kilometers down again. And this one here, 4.3 and 1839. And there's another bigger one underneath there, 5.3. That is a little bit older from 1652. and that's 15.1 kilometers down. There's one more under there, this guy. Actually, two more under there, 5.2 right there, 1735 for him, 4.2 clicks down. And then this last one, the biggest one, 5.9 from 1422, and that was 9.4 kilometers down. The one on land here was 4.6, so we know that 64.9 kilometers down, and 13:19 was the time on it. So a little bit of action happening there. We do have a couple more quakes in Peru, 4.5 down here, or I should say in South America, but that one is in Peru. 12:33, 160.9 kilometers down. Then we have another 4.3 down here, a little bit closer to, wow, that is in Argentina already at the northern end, 6:21 a.m. And that is 210 kilometers down for that 4.3. Now sliding over and looking at what we've got here in the New Zealand area, we do know that we had that one at Taupo, and that was a 4.7 from yesterday. This is the new one here though, 5.4, and that is from yesterday, 21:55, 51.3 kilometers down for him. Then we also see some new stuff here in Tonga, 5.0, 14:22 today, 543 kilometers down. Then we've got this guy, 4.4, and I know it is break time, and we'll just finish these earthquakes real quick, and then I'll take another break. And this 562 kilometers down, 1:30 in the morning, 4.4. And that is in the Fiji region, and this one they're calling Tonga as well, 4.7, 223.1 kilometers down, and 11:54 was time on it. And looking at what else we got, a little one here, Papua New Guinea, 4.5, 15:42, 41.5 kilometers down. Then we've got this one, 4.5, 21:27 yesterday, and 207 kilometers down. Taiwan up here, 4.6, 9:30 this morning for them, 66.2 kilometers down. Outside of Japan, 4.7, 14:56 was the time on that, 49.8 kilometers down for that one. And one right here on the Kamchatka Peninsula, and we will talk about that very shortly or after the break, because that is our next little volcano we're going to talk about, a new one on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Anyway, 4.3, 5:26 a.m. and 322 kilometers down. We also have this guy here. In Mongolia, 4.4, 21:08 yesterday, and 10 kilometers down for it. We don't see anything else in this area. And we'll get back to that fun stuff in a little bit. I'm going to leave this back on here, going to turn the cam leva back on for you. And there we go. And hopefully that'll be all right. And I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you are enjoying the show, please do hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Also, if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We always have wonderful things happening here that, having a subscription really does help. Having it, you're going to see the notifications when we go live, that kind of stuff. So, all cool, all awesome, and I need that break. I'll be back before I cough again. Don't go away, thanks. we go. The microphone is back on. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board. I see a few more people popped in. Cananaskis country, good to see you. Alba girl, good morning. And good morning to Thor as well. And no, the show isn't quite over. We are still moving along with doing a few more earthquakes and stuff like that. So we'll see what we can do. Thank you for the welcome backs from Sue and Cananaskis country and Gren Zed and Sharon Stewart saying, I hear you, DrFox2000, and thanks as well from Grandma B and Thor. And awesome, and thank you, Thor, for throwing in that one membership gift. And let me write that down. Thor gifted one. There we go. Just so we have that. And that is awesome. And hopefully someone will get it. A good person, even a bad person in here is usually pretty good. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Of course, just so you guys know, if that membership doesn't get used, what happens is YouTube does refund you, and they've done that to me on several times already. Anyway, let's pop over to, we already looked at the worldwide earthquake map. We looked at the Azores before, and now we need to look at the Canary Islands. I did refresh the map, was looking to see if there was anything up on the East Azore whatchamacallit there, fault. There we go, 2.4, and that happened at 8:15 UTC, or Canary time 10:15 if you want to use that clock. But that was up there, so that is right on the Azore, East Azore Ridge, as they call it, the fault line. Anyway, let's zoom into our Canary Islands. And of course, we see one flashing here on the side of Tenerife. It's really not that big. It's a 1.4, and happened at 23:06 UTC. So that is pretty cool. Zooming into La Palma, though, our favorite area, and we'll take a look how many we had today. And I think there was 4, and there's one right up on top of the ridge, right there. You can see the circle around it. That was from 1:19 a.m., 11 kilometers down for that guy, a 1 in magnitude, 0.9 in magnitude for this next one, slightly further down. The western slope, 11 kilometers down as well, from 1:22. And then we have a 1.2, and that is right on top of the ridge, or very close to it, 12 kilometers above sea level or below sea level. Somewhere thereabouts, yeah, from 5:17 a.m. and 1.4, 6:05 a.m., 13 kilometers down. And that, as we called it, is the upper playground zone. And that is where one of the magma chambers is. And it's very interesting to see those quakes at that level. So one may ask, are we seeing collapses? Are we seeing slow refill? Or what are we seeing? One of the things I do have to stress is our last eruption was an eruption that didn't have anything before it for about 50 years. Now, in geological time, 50 years is, well, just yesterday. But as far as for us little puny humans, 50 years is half a lifetime, if not a little bit more in many, many cases. And that's what we got to look at. So the people there that, unless they were fairly old, on La Palma, they would not have experienced a volcanic eruption ever. And if they were younger than 50 years old, they would have never seen one on La Palma, and that would have been a little bit weird to see Cumbre Vieja actually erupt, and it would have indeed freaked out many, many of people there. So that's just something I wanted to add. Now, we do want to, before we get going too much with the volcano map, I do want to point out two volcanoes, and I don't know if they're on the volcano map. Let me refresh this one, and I was looking at something else there yesterday, and we'll see if we can find the stuff here. Okay, get it into place. And I will do a quick run through. So, of course, there's our Asja and Grimsvatn showing on the Icelandic area there. And then, of course, Seo George and Terceira here in the Azores. Michael Volcano down here in South Sandwich Islands. And then we get in here. And we've got this guy and... Villarica, boy, I'm going to mess it up. Villarica is, I think, the way they actually pronounce it. But interesting there. And that guy is in orange. We'll see if that continues. Now, there was another one that popped up here somewhere, and I'm trying to think of where the heck it is, and it should be in here. And no, not that one, not this one. There it is. This guy, Cotopaxi. Yeah, I think we mentioned him yesterday, and that is definitely in there. A little bit of info on Cotopaxi. There's a little bit of a picture of it that you can see, and some nice leather jackets that you can buy as well. And last eruption from Cotopaxi was in 2015 and 16. So it's been a while since it actually erupted, and plumes of ash rose, altitude of 28,000 feet or 8,500 meters, and drifted northeast, and that is a fair size or fair distance upward, but that is a decent looking volcano. Let's see, does it have any other specs on it? And I don't believe so, no. So that's it for that one. We'll leave him alone, and we'll go back to our map. And the rest here, pretty much normal, nothing too wild going on in the big ring of fire. Zooming in down here, we still see Taupo listed, White Isle volcano still in orange. Our Tonga friends here are Home Reef and Tofua still both yellow, sliding around, looking at what we see here. Pretty normal. Papua New Guinea, nothing new. Luolatuk still there. Semeru and Raung still a yellow. I don't know if they're going to take that off. Looks like they had 11 minutes ago, they had a 4.7 there in Java. And that looks like it's just about underneath Merapi, so maybe we'll see some more action from it. Krakatau right there, and going up. Everything else is pretty normal there for what we see, and I am surprised they did not add the other volcano here. And anyway, let's just zoom in here just a little bit, and yeah, they didn't put the other one in there. And anyway, Chikaratski, Ibiko, and Alade out here. And then when we go up here, of course, this is Karimsky. And then we have Bezimiani and Shivalish. Now, there is another volcano, and I believe it's right in here. Actually, this guy, right there. And if we go to the other page, and I am not going to mispronounce this very much because it was actually written in Russian by a stewardess on a picture that we're going to see. Malia Semyachik. Okay, Malia Semyachik. And that is the volcano we're looking at on our map. And that is pretty cool, but it is got some activity happening on it as well. Caldera is at 1,516 meters or 5,118 feet, and it is definitely showing as an orange on here right now, and that is pretty cool. And of course, that is very, very close to the other Karimsky right there. So very, very cool to see that. Anyway, let's zoom down here a little bit. Background stuff, stratovolcano. So in other words, it has Strombolian style eruptions, I guess, from what I understood. Caldera about 15 by 20 kilometers, mid Pleistocene era. Pleistocene? I don't know. Boy, oh boy. Some of these words, not good for me. Anyway, that is pretty awesome, and it is fairly young, all things considered. So 11,000 years to 9,000 years ago is when that area formed. So it's not very, very old. And that is kind of what we've got. Anyway, there's some pictures of the caldera there, and that is pretty cool. And then, of course, a little bit further from the thing, and the pronunciation is right there in Russian. Okay, it's a Volcan Meli Semyachik, and that is in Russian, and of course that is what we see right down there for the name. So pretty cool, and I like it, and let's carry on with our other stuff. So yeah, and there's Karimsky right there. So this is it right here, and you know, that might even be the same magma source for both of them, because they're right side by each. You know, it doesn't hurt to have a friend going off at the same time, does it? Okay, never mind. That sounded bad. All right. Anyway, the rest of them are pretty normal, and nothing else there. Let's go take a look at our weather maps, and we will go to the SO2 map first and have a look at that. Let me get over onto that page so I can move it over there, and load freshly, please. There we go. And didn't load freshly. Where's no, it didn't. Let me do that again here. There we go. Now it loaded properly. All right, so there we see what our SO2 is doing. Lots and lots of SO2 coming into Canada, and of course that looks like an arrowhead, and that looks like it came from possibly over across the pond and through these loops and over there. I like the SO2 maps, very useful. Yeah, it's you know, interesting to see what it looks like, and you always wonder, where is that pollution going? You know, and this is, of course, a type of pollution. There's other layers that you can use this map for. The carbon, I do believe it's carbon monoxide, or NO2 is one of the other ones that you can look at. And I don't know, aerosols. So there's all kinds of different stuff that you can take a look at this map with, and that of course is at windy.com. So if you like messing around and looking at what is happening on the planet, I would recommend going to this site and having a look. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. Anyway, we see eastern U.S. pretty much normal, nothing really outrageous, but we do see the western Canada, including here in Alberta. Maybe that's why I am coughing so much today. We've got higher SO2 levels, and I'm not liking it. That could be what it is. I need to move somewhere where it's nice and clear. How about right there? Oregon, California border. Inland a little bit, away from the shakers. I don't want to be on the San Andreas Fault. What's that looking at? Oh, I don't want to be near that either. That's Mount Shasta. Need to be a couple hundred miles away from that at least. Otherwise, that'll cause problems. Anyway, beautiful area though. I'd love to be there. Looking at what we're seeing, Great Lakes area is looking like it's got a little higher levels of SO2 as well. And again, we still have that weird circulation over Mexico here, which kind of makes a guy wonder what the heck is going on. And it's just swirling around right in here. And that is keeping the SO2 kind of stay put kind of thing from, of course, Popocatépetl and Mexico City, since they're only about 70 kilometers apart. And now what? Isn't that something in the SO2 zone on us? Yes, that is on us. Well, we create here in Edmonton, unfortunately. I'm not proud of that, but our refineries create quite a bit of SO2 as well. Anyway, looking at what we see here in Central America, from Guatemala down to Costa Rica, most of that is coming out into the Pacific, which is all right. We see people pollution here in Cuba and those places, and then the larger plumes coming out, possibly from, well, again, it's hard to tell with the way the wind currents are going there. You can see them kind of every which way, but we know we are getting larger amounts of coming out of some of those places, so that is interesting to see, and the way it's swirling around right now. And of course here we see that big flow across the southern end of South America, and this other portion here kind of curling up and drawing it back into the Pacific. So we'll see what happens to Chile, but it looks like most of it is blowing right through and over into the Atlantic. Bottom end looks clear though. That's pretty awesome. And going over and looking at what we've got here, White Isle volcano doing a little bit, and it's of course pluming off and catching out there. Not very much coming from the Melbourne area refineries, and then a little bit still there from the coking plants. Tofua out here in Tonga still doing its thing, and then you got Yasur there and his friends here in Vanuatu, as well as the stuff in Papua New Guinea, pretty normal. And Luolatok making this mess. Semeru would be about here. I'm not sure why it's so condensed right there. Maybe just the wind currents coming in, because Semeru's here, Raung right beside it, and then Merapi is over here somewhere. So makes you wonder. Not seeing as much SO2 coming from Krakatau, but lots coming from Jakarta itself. Sliding up a little bit more, getting into the Philippines, Ibu and Dacono doing their thing. And here we see that storm sitting right over top of the Philippines, and very difficult to tell where any of that SO2 is going, but if it's raining, it's probably being washed out of the air, which is a good thing for them. As you can see, a lot of clear area right around it, and that's better for breathing. And of course Mayon and Bulusan would be right in here, so that would be kind of what's creating that. And of course here's a Taal volcano, and Taal could also be causing a lot of that in that area, but not as bad as some of the other places. Looking out, we see Taiwan still doing its thing. And out here again, I'm kind of confused with, looking at the air currents of blowing this way. So are we actually seeing something coming from Suwanosi-jima? We do know that we do have something coming from Sakura-jima here, but we also see more of that red material going in the higher levels. And pretty normal for the rest of Japan going up here. we see that, of course, all of the islands here seem to be all working away, as well as our volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula sliding over a little bit more, looking at India. People pollution, bad, bad. Same thing as China, bad, bad. Okay, and down here, looks like a little bit more coming from a Reunion Island, from Piton del la Formes, and that is the volcano down there, or Piton for short. And of course, here in South Africa, we have the gold smelting plants that are creating all that mess. And sliding up a little bit more, DR Congo has some pluming going on. There's 2 volcanoes right there, as well as some coking plants on top of that. Urta Ale would be right around here in Ethiopia. And of course, we see some heavy spots in places like Kuwait, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. Those are oil refineries. And looking here at what we're seeing, sliding down, and it looks like a little bit more output from, even though I didn't see anything, from our wonderful Stromboli. And let's maybe just open that up wide and just see what the daytime shots look like here from a Stromboli on this thing. So, yeah. Okay, actually, there was one in there that I liked. Where is it? Right there. That's a pretty shot, eh? With the moon hanging right there. Very, very nice. So, looking pretty good, you guys, and I like that. That is neat and cool. Okay, I'll leave that be. You can see some glow there. But we don't see any lava splooshing out, and that is what we want, of course. So we'll get rid of that. And of course, we know the other stuff coming from our Etna, and a little bit from Volcano. Looking at Iceland, actually looking at Northern Europe first here. Half of Germany seems to be pretty bad, and then we also see Poland and Belarus as fairly heavy with SO2 as well. Iceland looks like they may have their smelting plant on, and they're getting kind of a recirculation of that material going up instead of down and out and away. And on that note, I am going to put it to this map, and actually going to refresh that one. I'm going to go for a break because my throat really does need it. So that is ready to go for our weather, and we'll take a look at that after the break. I'm going to put you back on to our canned lava and let that run. And we'll go from there. Why is that not moving? And there we go. Got it. All right. So for all those good people here, I see that we are at 94 likes on my screen. We're trying to get over that 100 mark. Let's see if we can get 6 squeezed out of there in a few minutes here. And I'm going to go for a quick break. And dude will help. And we need about 5 more likes, and that's all good. So those guys, Zach, Ron, cheers, Dr. Fox. Welcome, Zach. I'm glad to have you on board. Okay, I'm going to take that break, you guys, and don't go away. Weather to come afterwards, and we'll go from there. Keep smiling, be nice. I'll throw some music in, and of course, this is footage from August 6th. Of Siggy Fisher in Maridalia Valley, just so you know, and that way there is no confusion. And I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Thanks. we go. Microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And, of course, this is VolcanoX, a live stream. Thank you, Alba Girl and Sue Hayes and Kevin Haynes. And I hear you here for the bonus minutes. Hey, it's Friday. I mean, what the heck? Why not? We'll keep going a little bit. And I'm kind of reading up on that stuff that Dude is talking about in the chat. And that is very interesting. And I myself kind of wonder what's going on underneath Hawaii and the big hotspot. Is the pressure not right to get that eruption? What's going on? So let me explain something to you. I'm not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So what you call me? Okay. Confusion? Oh boy. Okay, if we got confusion in here, we don't want confusion. But I mean, we already are looking at volcanoes, and they can be confusing enough as is. That, or what? His dudeness, or duder, or Al Duderino, if you're into the whole brevity thing. Okay. What? The big Lebowski. Okay. Dude Al Duderino. Okay. This has gone right downhill, and you might want to put that right into the caldera. All fun, you guys. All fun. Movie references. Yep, I figured as much. That's why I'm trying to figure it out, because I've heard of that Mr. Lebowski before. So that's kind of a little bit funny. Anyway, yeah, for Hawaii though. That is, it is interesting though, talking about Mauna Loa for a second. And of course, I'm sorry if we're kind of off track here, but it's something that really does fascinate me. And, we remember looking at what kind of pipe or funnel of that hotspot that we've got sitting underneath Iceland that they made in that 3D format. And I kind of wonder what it would look like underneath the big island. Do we have one big tube coming up, one major hotspot? Do we have two tubes coming up from down low at the bottom of the lithosphere? And what do we really have there? That is something that is quite interesting. And do we have any real magma chambers at any depths? Or do they know that? Sometimes you get, pluming lava or magma coming up from way, way down below. And it's so hard to tell, and especially when you have that very, very liquidy pahoi lava like what we do see in Hawaii. And that is really, it's famous for that. Of course, pahoi and the lava is kind of the universal terms for the thin stuff and the thick stuff. Okay, the block lava being and pahoi being like soup, and that kind of thing. So makes a guy wonder though, where is this coming up? How is it shaped? What kind of form do we have underneath that is holding that lava and or magma at that point still? So what's going on with it, And if we're not going to see an eruption anytime soon, that's a disappointment. Very concerned about the large earthquakes on the south side and there's a possible effect on current low slip regions, i.e. Heliana slump. Okay. Well, and that's something too. Let's, yeah. Again, I don't want to take you away from going to the weather, but I'm curious, curious, and I'm sure that you guys will understand my curiosity just as well as I'm sure there's a lot that are just as curious as I am. Anyway, let's take a look at this for a second. We'll pop over to Hawaii and take a look at the map. And what we'll do is I kind of want to point a couple things out on the Hawaiian map. So, of course, up top here, that's the top of Mauna Loa, and that is the caldera up here. The area here, though, this kind of drop-off zone here, right by Pahala, really is kind of a concern, or makes me wonder. I'm going to put this over to ocean so we can see. This right here is a very, very sharp, deep drop, and same thing with these areas. So this is where Louis Seamound is, of course, and we've had other eruptions in here, as you can see. Right, you can literally see the top of an old cone there of some sort, and it makes you wonder what was going on there way back when. We also know there was one out here way back when. So is that that hot spot, again, if that hot spot is still underneath here, or has that hot spot indeed now moved or migrated over far enough that it is now considered to be under Pahala. And Pahala is the source of confusion in an administrative from Ken Horn, the scientist in charge of the HVO. And you know that that is exactly it. And I can show you a couple more spots on the planet that have that. Where we've got craziness going on. Here's Costa Rica, okay? The same thing, same kind of thing. Oh, the only problem we have here is there is no volcano. We know there's a subduction zone right here. So why is everything concentrated in that one spot all the time? And that same thing goes for here in Hawaii. And again, looking at what we're seeing, we do see these previous mounds out here, and you have to question what the heck is going on and why are we not seeing. And if you go further this way, you see very small ones further out, but nothing new, right? These are quite aged, and if this whole stuff is actually moving this way, as per what it says, in a couple million years, Hawaii is going to be sitting where Maui is, or maybe even a little bit further. Will it actually grow? And will this sheer wall actually get filled in with new lava and magma and solidify? That's something we really don't know. Ken Hon said last night that the hot spot is still under Mauna Loa. Okay, if it is still under Mauna Loa, then what the heck is this? What's going on? And that really throws people for a loop. And I'm not trying to be like a weird guy here or anything. This is just one of the other maps that you can bring up, and kind of shows you the volcanic areas there. It's really, really strange, and makes a person really wonder what is going on down underneath. So if the hot spot is in fact still under Mauna Loa, then what do we got happening here? Is this maybe a branch off of it? And again, if you've got something coming up through that lithosphere, how deep down is that hole where it's coming from? Is it up in the higher portions of the lithosphere? Is it down on the bottom end of the lithosphere, right beside the asthenosphere, and that is allowing current flow into it? And is that what's pressuring it up? And, again, there, magma chambers somewhere in between. It's all part and parcel to this stuff. So what have we got going on? I'd love to be able to slice the earth open and have a peek, but unfortunately, my magic doesn't go that far, right? But anyway, let's get back to the weather, you guys. That's what I'm supposed to be doing now. Otherwise, this show's going to last forever. I'm going to go real quick with the weather, though, and let me get on that. So, looking at North America real fast. Cold up in the north. Yep, we see that. Prairie areas. British Columbia, not bad temperatures. A little bit warmer down in the eastern portions of, I guess it'd be central and northern Ontario. And then we get cold again when we get down past Toronto and that area, and really cold when we get out towards Quebec. Sue Hayes is not enjoying warm weather anymore. She's down into the single digits. And there we go. What up yours? What up your bear? Oh, yeah, dress up your bear. Definitely. Polar bear needs to stay warm, especially if he's drinking Coke out there, Anyway, seeing very, very cold temperatures out here in Newfoundland, and definitely single digits for the most part. And they had that really nice warm weather yesterday. So, boy, it got cold quick. Same thing goes for New Brunswick. And looking at the eastern United States, Florida, that area, not bad. And no worries, dude. Always welcome here, and that's all fun. And we enjoy having you over here. And, of course, for those who don't know who Dude actually is, he's one of the good members over there at Two Pineapples live streams, and we don't mind having him over here, brother in Lava family, and that's all cool. So we don't mind that. Anyway, looking at the states, we see from about Tennessee southward, pretty warm, not bad in the southeast, a little bit colder in northern Texas. Actually, it doesn't look too bad in the Carolinas, with the exception of way up in the north, or actually that's in Virginia already, so that's not bad. Texas, yeah, not. They've got that low. I know some kind of storm coming in on the coast, but that's drawing the wind from the north to the south rather than getting the warm wind blowing in from the south. New Mexico, quite cold. Phoenix only at 20 degrees right now. Looking at Mexicali, 21 degrees there as well. Most of California is starting to get pretty chilly as well. Death Valley, no way. Put your parkas on. Not too bad out on the western coast. Getting down here, Central America looks not bad. Still fairly warm, but still not as warm as it could be. 26, 27 in Cancun. Even Belize is a little bit on the cooler side. Doesn't warm up really all that much. About the same temperatures all the way through Central America. And most of South America till you get down to the bottom end of Bolivia and up on the top of Paraguay. And over here where Irish Monk is. And he's somewhere here in Argentina right now. And they are getting, I guess he went there for the warmer temperatures, huh? 26, 27, 30 degrees in some places. Looking pretty awesome. Buenos Aires only coming in at 22. And, of course, Uruguay, anywhere from about 21 to down to 16, I think, 15 in some spots. Not that bad, but Rio de Janeiro, nighttime temperature 22, 23. Sao Paulo, about 20 there as well. There's your cutoff point. Everything below that is very cold because of this high sitting here, pumping all that cold air up into the mix and the flow. Just want to point out something here. The flows are mixed up so badly. Typically, you have this being bombarded, this area here, like El Nino. The wind would be coming in and pushing against it. And right now we're seeing more flow outward and reversed trade winds. And that is more like a La Nina, which means that we're going to have crazy weather for this year and early next year. So snowstorms and things. Looking at New Zealand really quickly, and down on the bottom south, not bad, and the eastern coastlines, a very warm peninsula still holding in at 2021. So North Island looking very warm, South Island, most of it fairly warm, low teens, and that on the west side, they're probably getting nailed with some rain. Looking at Tasmania real quick, anywhere from about 8-9 degrees up to about 13. What we see, Hobart probably coming in about 11 or so, 12, 11, yeah, something like that. Pretty close. Melbourne, Australia, 14 degrees. Leo's home. And of course, Leo's got a volcano in his backyard, and he wouldn't tell us about it, that guy. Anyway, 16 in Adelaide, going up, 22, 23 in Sydney, and sliding up to Oz's home. And Oz is just suntanning and enjoying her day at about 30 degrees Celsius, using one of those fans there, the hand fans. I can just see her laying back, and 28C there. There you go. And yeah, it says about 29 there. So yep, that looks like exactly what I thought. The beach umbrella, and enjoying her wonderful day. Looking at what we're seeing, some big highs there in most of Australia, keeping some hot air at the top end. And I think that is actually our hot spots for today, 40 degrees Celsius. And that is pretty awesome to see that this time of year. Of course, you know, it's winter for us, and our winter's coming, and their summer is coming. Anyway, looking at what we've got going on here in the Malaysian, Philippine, and Indonesian areas. Of course, that Nalgae is sitting right on top of the Philippines right now. And we see another circulation out here. This may turn into a secondary storm, but right now they are getting nailed with that, and that is not good weather for those good people. And that happens though, and that is part of the system. Looks like about 27 degrees in Bangkok, and we'll not worry about that. I'm jealous. Looking at the bottom end, we see about 21 degrees southern end of Japan, and then temperatures along the coast not so bad. Then things get a little bit cooler as you get in the northern portions, sliding up to the Kamchatka Peninsula. You see some negative temperatures really quickly. And well, this isn't really Siberia. Siberia is over here, but you see the colder stuff starting out. Too cold for me. Sliding down back into the warmer tropical areas. We are seeing India pretty much normal. Another circulation here, creating another storm perhaps. Glad to see the flow outward from Bangladesh area, and that rather than going in, and that will keep the storms away. Looking at this big high down here, it's pumping in some mixed air down into south end of Africa and South Africa. Well, and then of course Madagascar not looking bad right now for nighttime temperatures. That's what we're seeing. Some warmer areas here as well. So pretty cool or pretty warm. And this central area would be your rainy area, and then of course the Sahara Desert up here, and that is not very warm right now either. Looking at 13, 14, 15 degrees depending on where you are. Cairo coming in at about 18 today. Just about no heat left there in Saudi Arabia. Yemen definitely down into the higher teens now. And then we are seeing a low 20s here in Oman, UAE at 24, 23, 22, depending on where you are. And boy, oh boy, about 13 up in the top end of Iraq, down on the bottom end. We see it went up to 24 in some spots, but not as warm there either. Same thing with Iran and Pakistan, those other countries. And looking at what we've got here for Piggy's Island of Kos, and we are seeing 21 degrees, 20 degrees, somewhere thereabouts. That's not bad for nighttime temperatures, and hopefully that's comfortable for her. Looking at Italy and Sicily, coastal areas quite warm, inland a little higher elevations, a little bit on the cooler side. Sliding up to Milano, just looking there, 30 degrees, a lot colder. And seeing what we've got around New Monkland, and them too up in the higher elevations, a lot cooler. Coastline still holding high teens or very, very low 20s, and that's what we're seeing there in Sardinia. Spain, not bad at all for nighttime temps. Actually, that looks the most comfortable right now, but looks like even up here, seeing some good temperatures. Same thing goes for France, and most of Germany looking pretty good too, down in the southern end, though a little bit on the cooler side. Munich only about 12 today, 12 in Stuttgart, 14 up in Frankfurt. Cologne is 15, and Berlin coming in at 14 in Hamburg. And then we've got our Belgium area here, as well as Luxembourg, 12 or 13 in Luxembourg, all the way up to 15, 16 in Belgium. And then looking at Holland, depending on where you are, from about 12 degrees up to about 14 degrees for the most part. So not bad looking there. We'll check England, Wales, and Scotland and Ireland real quick. So up in Scotland, a little bit cooler, getting down here. We're starting to see going above 10 degrees Celsius for the most part, and then right down on the bottom here where we're seeing higher temperatures, mid-teens. Looking at what we're seeing in Wales, though, coastal areas a little warmer, but still about 11, 12 degrees. Ireland about the same too, and looking at Irish Monkland, 12 degrees Celsius there for in that Doolin area, so pretty good. Good night, everyone. Yeah, okay, no worries, dude. Good night to you, and all the best. May your days be bright and warm, and your nights peaceful and respectful. And thanks. Yep, Scotland's always been cooler, though, and that Alba girl, from what I've seen. I mean, you know, I'm from here, so I'm from this area, and of course we have different stuff going on here at times too. I remember that as a kid. Anyway, looking at Denmark, looking at anywhere from coastal areas, 12, 13 degrees, down to about 10 in some of the other spots. Surprisingly, seeing a little bit more warm air here in bottom end of Sweden. Stockholm only coming in 11. Oslo actually made it up to 11 as well today. And Riga about 12. St. Petersburg, aka Leningrad, is 10 degrees. Sliding over here. Moscow only coming in at 8. Actually, 8 is better than what they had yesterday. The rest of Norway, Sweden, and Finland a lot cooler, with low single digits for the most part, and minus temperatures up in the higher end latitudes, I should say. And there we go. Zooming in on Iceland, and yeah, Iceland is cold. Reykjavik, 1 degree, and looking at the peninsula here, our Ragnar area be about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. With the wind, it'd probably feel like freezing anyway, but that is what we're seeing there. Perhaps a lot of colder air, -7 there. But the nice part is we're not going to see a -37 there. So that's kind of what we got. Kevin Haynes, take care, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow's stream, tomorrow's Saturday, so the stream starts earlier, 3 hours earlier, just so you know. And let's get over and have a quick peek at precipitation. And I'm not going to go through a heck of a lot here with it. I'm just going to go, ooh, I don't like it. West coast of Canada getting nailed. We have a system out here in Alaska pushing in there. We'll see what happens. Northwest, sorry, Nunavut has got the low up there, not doing Nunavut, and we'll keep going. Seeing down here, looks like eastern side of Texas has got that storm, and then we've got that's low sitting in here causing that. We're going to see that storm move up into Mississippi and Louisiana, and then possibly get into portions of Alabama as well. We're also seeing here off the coast from North and South Carolina some rain for Grandma B. We got rain coming, Grandma B, and hopefully that won't be too bad. South America, Central America, not Central America actually looking a lot better than what it has. South America pretty normal, and we are seeing ice rain down here, and boy, lots of it, and that's not good. Hopefully nobody is going to be out there with their boat or their ship and get it all covered in ice and sink. Snow down in Chile, so Chile and Chile. And here's what we're seeing in New Zealand. The warmer temperatures, yes, but it brings along bad weather, rain, and lots of rain. They don't want it. And out here on the peninsula where it's so nice and warm, they are getting a warm rain. And there you go. Looking at what we see here, Tasmania, half of it getting wet. The eastern half is looking like it's dry. Melbourne has got more rain, and probably a good thing that they've got some rain even here, even where it's really, really hot up in the top, and I'm surprised that they are getting some rain there. That is actually really good for them, because that area usually is desert dry, and the fact that they've got some water moisture coming in is good. The breadbasket for Australia, though, is over here, and that is the farmlands and stuff. That's what you want to keep wet every once in a while. We do see this stuff out here in the southwest corner, though, as well. And looking at, yeah, here's that nasty, nasty storm sitting right on top of the Philippines, Manila, getting nailed. And pretty nasty looking right there. So that's what we've got. And sliding up, Japan dry for the most part till you get up on the northern end. That low was actually moved up a little bit from yesterday. It was right around here before, so it's moving upward, and that is probably a good thing. And maybe it'll pop out the top and compete with this high over here, and that's what we've got. We do see this low here probably causing a fairly good storm in the Indian Ocean, and we are seeing these plumes coming down here as well. That big high stirring things up, another high sitting there, and the colder temperatures circulating around it. Again, here central regions, the Congo and stuff like that, rainforests, getting their water, and zooming in, looking at Turkey and that area. No precipitation in the area. No precipitation for Kos, unfortunately. So Peggy, if you're still listening, no rain for you, sorry. And nothing for Italy or Sicily or Spain, or hang on, Spain has got some, a little bit, here in Sardinia and that area. Looking right at the coast here, though, of where Spain and Portugal are, we do see a little bit of moisture coming in and hitting it. Nothing in France or Germany or Denmark, Belgium, Holland, those areas all pretty dry. We see a bottom end of Ireland getting nailed, and down here in Wales, as well as the bottom corner of England getting nailed, double loads sitting right there. We still see this storm stuff going in here along the coastline of Norway, and the more I see that all the time is I really don't want to live there. I'd love to go visit the fjords, but it's got to be nice weather. Anyway, Sweden getting some rain as well, even down in the warm areas, so probably not so bad. And no rain in Iceland, or maybe just a little tiny bit here. And that is pretty good. Some fog in some areas, but clear for the most part. So that's what we've got going for our weather. Davis Strait seems to have a nasty low, making all kinds of snowflakes, and that'll make ice cubes and icebergs and a little bit of ice rain, and that's about it. So let's pop it back over on temperature. I'm going to find the very cold spot for today, and we'll see how cold it is on the planet. Uh-oh, I hear a hound dog. I hear a hound dog. I hope that hound dog isn't finding no rabbits. We don't want that. Anyway, looking, and where the heck is the cold spots? Where am I? I need to be down here somewhere. Scan back and forth and find minus 60 something. Minus 59, minus 60. Okay, I found a minus 61. Let's see, there's got to be colder places than that. It can't be that warm there. This is the South Pole. Come on, where's that warm or cold temp? I don't know. I'm not finding it. This is my map. My map says 2100. It should be out there. Okay, maybe I'm moving too fast. The only thing I can find, minus 63, right in there. So, yep, that is what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to go with minus 63 is what I found. And, Sue found minus 63 as well. Okay. I thought she found minus 68. I had just glanced up. But either way, and that is pretty darn cold, you guys. Make sure you bundle up your penguins before you send them out to play. And that would be awesome. So I'm going to leave it there. That's it, you guys. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. And no worries, going to get you back on our canned lava, and then we'll wrap things up here. So awesome, and glad that we have everybody on board here. Let's see if we can get that canned lava moving, and there, click the magic button. All right, I got it going. All right, that is it for today, you guys. So a big thank you, first off, to our wonderful moderators, Arizona Snowman, Piggy, and thank you, Piggy, for the bacon seeds as well as those carvings. They're awesome, as usual, and thank you very kindly for hanging in there. I know you were having a bad day, so hopefully tomorrow will be a better day for you. And of course, also thanks to the other moderators like Bob, who's here, as well as Joseph Fields and Gary 24/7 Live. He's at Skies, and possibly Lucas Snow in the background, and a few others as well. Also, big thank you to Oz for gifting two memberships there, one at a time, and also one from Thor. So thank you guys for doing that. Don't have any super chats today, so second day in a row, no super chats. Wow. But that's okay, and I'll leave it at that. And that is about it for today. I want everyone to remember tomorrow is Saturday, so we are starting earlier, and of course that means for those European people, you can get at the show a little bit earlier, which is probably better for most of you. Anyway, that is it for tonight. So thank you, Lava family. Thank you, everyone, for being here. You guys are all awesome, and appreciate all the members. Appreciate the support from the membership. That is really, really awesome. And then on that friendly note, it is a time for me to wrap things up. So be good, be kind, and take care of yourselves. I never said hi to Mona Alfano. Hi, Mona. Anyway, be good, be kind, and take care of yourselves. And most of all, please, please, make sure that you tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. Oink, oink.